Greetings, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I am, as always, your host, Mr. Sean, and this is another episode of Chimera Miniatures' official YouTube channel. I use this channel as advertising for my business, where I sell collectibles as well as custom miniatures. Right now, if you go to my Etsy page for the rest of the month, I will be having a 15% off all miniature sale. Also, you still have until August 11th to cast your vote in my Help Me Design a Miniature voting round 1 vote, which can be found in one of my previous videos. Link will be in the description. As of the posting of this video, nobody has cast a vote yet, so you still are primed to have whatever vote you want be the one that decides it. So please go check that out, please do vote, and help me grow my business so I can make more of these videos. So the reason that the voting ended on August 11th was actually due to the fact that that would be the day that I would be at home recovering from a surgery I had scheduled for the day prior. I figured I could, while I'm recuperating, I could be looking at who was voting, what they were voting for, and kind of get an idea in my head of what I was going to make. Specifically, the surgery I was going to have a vasectomy. Despite objections from my mother, neither I nor my fiance want kids, and even if something were to happen and we were to end up not getting married, which is highly doubtful, I still would not want kids, and if anyone who I would meet later would not wish to be with me due to my inability to produce offspring, well, that would be a deal breaker for me as well, because I 100% do not want biological children. If I ever change my mind about raising children, I will choose to adopt. There are some genetic things in my history that I would just rather not risk passing on, so no bio kids for me. However, I have had to reschedule my surgery due to the fact that my insurance will not be covering a single dime of it because it's an elective procedure and my insurance has very high deductibles for elective procedures. So I'm going to have to wait a month or two before I can go through and get the snip. And honestly, I'm frustrated because I'm doing my part to help decrease the surplus population by not bringing more kids into it, and while this was always my goal, the timetable for wanting to have this done has been moved up due to the Supreme Court in my country and their boneheaded move, meaning that should mistakes happen, even though my fiance is on birth control and we take precautions, if an accident were to occur, we would be unable to deal with it, except for, putting another unwanted child into this world, into our overcrowded foster care system. And I'll be honest with you guys, little TMI here, but it's affected our love life. My fiance, given the state of things and the risks involved and unable to, deal with them in a satisfactory way should they happen, even though the chances are slim, she's not in the mood. I totally understand and I respect that. I'll be honest with you. Still, I'm a red-blooded American man. Sometimes I have urges and, those go, unfulfilled because my government has decided to take bodily autonomy away from women. And honestly, nothing kills the mood more than that. So yeah, I'm frustrated, and because of that, I decided I was going to do a video today looking at posts of people who are also sexually frustrated, though their frustrations are not nearly as sympathetic, if I'm being quite honest. So today we're going to do another Neckbeard and Incel and Niceguy post reading. So without further ado, let's get to it. Starting off, we have a post in r/Niceguys, which was reposted from 4chan, titled "Niceguy Finally Settles Down." Notes that CC means cock carousel. So I'm just going to go ahead and have the TTS program go ahead and read this post to you guys before we dissect it a little bit.
I've accepted my role as a beta. I met a girl, she's 35, I'm 32, so it's not much difference. Anyhow, she rode the cock carousel and she's ready to settle down. And she's chosen me to be the one to provide for her. I know you all are probably going to call me a beta provider, or a cuck, or tell me that what I'm doing isn't red-pilled, and that I should be an edgy man whore fucking babes every weekend instead of settling down. But I'm tired, I'm so tired. I don't want to deal with drama. I just want a basic whore I can stick my cock into at the end of the day after work. I honestly don't care if other cocks have been inside her before. She's also a gamer and a nerd, and she's still cute even at 35. I'm sorry R9K, I know you'll hate me for this, but I can't fight anymore. I don't want to be alone. One day, maybe you'll understand the reasons why I made this decision.
I saw this post a few days ago, and in all honesty, it pissed me off more than most of these do, even the ones that are objectively worse in how they talk about women, because this guy he's so close. He's so close to understanding that his way of thinking was wrong, but rather he's taking, and that's assuming this is even real, it's from 4chan, grain of salt it, but this guy is so close to just, like, understanding that he had the wrong way of thinking, but he's still convinced that the old way is right, and that he's just too defeated to succeed where, I guess, his other incel Niceguy brothers will. And sadly for this guy, I think he is going to, if this is actually the attitude he has, he's going to lose this relationship. Okay, first of all, he's clearly right off the bat, she's 35, he's 32, and he's kind of like, so it's not that much of a difference. I mean, yeah, most of these guys really want a younger girl, and while, like, my fiance is younger than me, but I also wouldn't have been upset had she been a little older than me. Like, age is a number. Though you have to remember that these guys often are very emotionally immature, so really they will have trouble connecting with someone older than them. Then he goes into this spiel about the 35-year-old woman, how she's rode the cock carousel, but she's ready to settle down, and how she's chosen him to be the one to provide for her. That last line is the worst part of the first paragraph, because chosen him to be the one to provide for her. Sir, if she is only looking to you to be a provider, trust me, that's not it. She doesn't need your ass for that. She can either A, find her own money, or B, she can find someone else that she's not settling for as much. So she must honestly like you, but you have this weird incel mentality that you can't be like, oh, you know, this person, they've dated around before and they didn't meet the right person and then they found me and we clicked. Having exes that you've slept with, having had people in your past, even if you've just had a one-night stand a couple of times, that doesn't mean you were riding the cock carousel. That just means you didn't find the right person. But unfortunately, these people had a little bit more fun not finding the right person than incels do. He then goes on to spout all that shit that incels love to do about the beta provider, cuck, red pill. But he says that, you're all gonna say I should be an edgy man whore fucking babes every weekend instead of settling down. And anybody who is, this guy's 32, I'm 34, this guy, he's got it right that that's not what you want to do. Do you know how much fucking effort and energy you have to expend to be an edgy man whore who fucks babes every weekend? I never was, alright? But I know people who tried to be and usually failed because, dear fucking lord, that is not an easy thing to do for any guy. I can't speak to how easy it is for a woman, but I know as far as guys go, it is such a waste of your time and energy to try and be a man whore. Like, if you want to do that, go for it, but let's be honest, none of us are Glenn Quagmire.
Who else but Quagmire?
He's Quagmire, Quagmire. You never really know what's gonna do next. He's Quagmire, Quagmire.
Giggity, let's have sex.
So, we probably would just be wasting our breath trying to do that. And then he just goes into this whole, but I'm just tired, I'm so tired, I don't want to deal with drama. It's like, I just want a basic whore I can stick my cock into at the end of the day after work. This, my friend, is why you will soon be rejoining the ranks of your incel buddies, because you are calling this person who has taken a liking to you a basic whore. I'm sorry, but that is entirely disrespectful for to talk to the one person who, honestly, after reading this, is dumb enough to give you a fucking chance to be a human being, and you're gonna refer to her as a basic whore? Not just a whore, but a basic whore, whose only purpose is for you to stick your cock into at the end of the day after work. Like, buddy, I get it. I get that a stressful day not only will make you tired and grumpy, but it can make you horny as hell. You just want to relieve that stress. You want that release. But that's not how you look at a relationship. As I stated in my intro, we're kind of going through a dry spell right now for things that have nothing to do with our relationship. But if I had the mentality that she was my fiance was a basic whore for me to stick my cock into, oh my god, we would be so on the rocks right now. Instead of supporting each other like we are, we both understand that each are frustrated for different reasons and we're there emotionally for each other. But no, you see this person who has dared to consider you an option nothing more than a vagina. Then he acts like he's such a big and open-minded man because I honestly don't care if other cocks have been inside her before.
Hey, try not to suck any dick on the way through the parking lot.
Oh my god, sir, let us give you a Nobel Prize for compassion. You shouldn't care that there were other cocks in her before. Just like she shouldn't care if hers is the first vagina you've slid your ugly man-baby penis into. Again, I'm gonna tell you a story about my life, because until the age of 30, I was technically an incel. I didn't have the hateful rhetoric or the feelings that I was somehow owed sex, and looking back, there were definitely a few times where I could have gotten laid if I had just, not let peer pressure talk me out of it. Long story. But the idea is that, so yeah, when I met my fiance, she was my first. I wasn't her first.
37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?
I knew that going into it, and it never has once bothered me. She kind of didn't know how I was going to feel about it. She even offered, she's like, do you feel the need to be with someone else? And I said, no. Like, I don't care if I have less experience than you do. You picked me, I picked you, that's what matters. Again, that's because my fiance is more than just a vagina to me. So get off your incel virgin high horse that, I don't care. Because, yeah, you're trying to act defeated, but you're also trying to act like you're so above all of this because you don't care. You've forgiven her past. There's no past to forgive. I've never cared that my fiance has had other dick before me. Clearly, she's not with those guys anymore, so whatever their dicks were, it wasn't good enough to just stick around, so why should I fucking care that she's experienced those? And if I can lighten the mood for 1 second here, I will take one girl who knows what she's doing over 48 virgins any day. And here's where I feel a little bit of sympathy for the devil here, because the last part of his third paragraph is, she's also a gamer and a nerd, and she's still cute, even at 35. Like, dude, you hit the fucking jackpot, my man, alright?
You hit the jackpot, mofo.
The nerd. Again, so is my fiance, and I would definitely say she's cute. And you know what? I appreciate the fact that I hit the fucking jackpot to get myself a cute gamer nerd who's willing to put up with my dumb, annoying ass. But you know what? You're acting like, it's okay that she's 35 because she's still cute even though she's not, 18. Again, bro, as someone who is roughly the same age as you, you should be going for the girls in their late 20s to mid 30s. Like, those are the people you should be going after. I look at 18-year-olds that I see out and about, and they look like fucking children. 21-year-olds look like children to me. Like,
that's a child!
Technically, he's 475 years old.
Then why did you draw him like this?
I can't even wrap my head. I can't be like, oh yeah, she's so fucking hot. Like, when I see people that age, because they look like children. Like, I am, by the time, when they were born, I was getting ready to drive. Like, okay, this has nothing to do with dating, but I remember speaking with people that when I worked at a grocery store and I was in my mid-20s and everybody else there was, high school, weren't even 20 yet. And, I was honestly pushing 30 at this point. And we were talking about cartoons we watched as a kid, and I brought up the cartoon Gummy Bears. And I literally had to bring up on my phone the intro to this show because they figured that show was just something I was high and imagined because they had no concept of it. So, you don't want as a 32-year-old, you don't want an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old. You certainly don't want an underage girl, though incels seem to. What would you even fucking talk about? But again, that's the flaw in the incel logic because they just see women as cock sleeves. And since to have a cock sleeve that can talk to you costs extra, they're not going to bother with it because that would cut into their Dorito and Mountain Dew fund. And then the last part is just him apologizing again to 4chan. I just don't want to be alone. One day maybe you'll understand why I made this decision. Like, bro, of course we understand why you made this decision and why you don't want to be alone. Most people don't want to be alone. It's why the majority of us in this world aren't hermits. Like, when's the last time you met a hermit? You don't, because they live up in the mountains and nobody ever sees them because they don't want to be seen. Like, most of us in one way or another, even introverts, thrive on at least some level of connection with other people. You want, I would say you're apologizing for being happy, which you should never do. Never apologize for your happiness. But that's the problem, is you're not apologizing for your happiness. You won't let yourself be happy because you can't grasp that this mentality you've had, that everything in your subconscious is telling you is harmful. You're not willing to let it go, even though your actions, you have actively gotten out of that community. Your mind is still back with them, and you're so close, my friend, and it pisses me off that I don't think you're gonna crest that hill. I think you're gonna be there, you're gonna keep this mentality, and then it's gonna blow up in your face, and you're gonna go right back down, you're gonna Sisyphus it, and that ball is just gonna knock you down and roll right back down that hill, and it's your own damn fault. And that's enough time spent on this one. The next post we're looking at comes from r/justneckbeardthings, and the titled, "Puts on Fedora, Clears Throat." Well, actually...
Rape is romantic and healthy. The demonization of rape in the modern age is why so many relationships are unhealthy, unstable, and fall apart. Many women want to be raped, and many men want to be rapists. Why should we stop them?
Okay, right off the bat, let's just clarify one thing. You cannot want to be raped. That is by the very definition, rape is non-consensual, unwanted sexual interaction. You can have a kink that might be close-ish.
Okay, I'll do her. But can you tell her to cry and beg me to stop?
I think that can be arranged.
Like, you can't want to be raped. There are things such as consensual non-consent. There are people that like rough play or being tied up, but none of those are rape. I mean, you can want to be a rapist, sure, but you shouldn't. But you can't want to be raped. You can't, there's that old saying, you can't rape the willing. I've also heard someone say, if it's not unwanted, it's not rape, it's just surprise sex. I could go and say that this guy is clearly the most fucked up individual on the planet, but I honestly think he's just a fucking moron, and he doesn't understand the difference between those kinks, which he obviously has or thinks he has, and then the actual act of non-consent.
You were literally too stupid to insult. Thank you.
If you want to engage in consensual rape play or all of those other various kinky sex actions, nobody's going to be stopping you. And I think that's ultimately what he's talking about, because he's a moron. But yeah, no, women don't want to get raped. I think that's ultimately the last thing women want. And let's be honest, most guys don't want to rape anybody. It's the idea that it's even desire. If they say it's not about sex, it's about power. Okay, well, that's a fucked up attitude to have. But at the same time, at least for me personally, it's not just about the act of desire. When you see someone, when you desire them, that's not enough. That's 50% of the equation, and ultimately means nothing. What you really are asking for is for them to desire you back, and that ultimately is when you take that out of the equation and it's all about what you want. That's when you get into this fucked up mentality that this guy may or may not have. I'm gonna err on the side of him having a soul and think that he's just a fucked up moron. So that one was kind of awful. So this next one we're going to look at is actually just more on the ridiculous side. It might honestly just be a troll post. I don't know. Let's take a look.
My pony waifu Princess Celestia told me, "I want you right by my side this entire evening." She does not want me to leave her side. Princess Celestia is overcompensating because she knows that she cannot marry me because I'm married to Rez Hiram. That is why she is constantly making me have sex with her and sleep with her. Princess Celestia knows she cannot have me, but she does not know that my wife Rez Hiram allows me to have sex with anybody I want except another Rez Hiram. So Princess Celestia capitalizes on that and makes me stick by her and have sex with her on a regular basis.
Like, I don't claim to ever understand bronyism or waifuism. The both of those are very... I understand they go on, and I won't say that they're degenerate off the bat. I don't really get where it's coming from, but it's clear from this image this is like a Facebook post, and this person who has photoshopped themselves with a picture of a My Little Pony character. I really do hope this is like a troll post and that they were just like making fun of this person, and it wasn't really them that posted it, but they photoshopped themselves next to this My Little Pony character and are talking about, I had to look it up because I'm not familiar with that character. Apparently it's a Pokemon, but how they are in a fair relationship with this pony, but unbeknownst to the pony, their Pokemon wife it lets them have sex with anyone they want except another one of these Pokemon. Like, let's take a look at this Pokemon up here. I don't know, I'm not seeing the appeal of, I think it's pronounced Reshiram or something like that, but and apparently it's also genderless and a legendary, so I don't know, I guess, I don't know, it almost just considering that this Pokemon doesn't have a gender, it is a legendary, meaning, if my recollection is correct, I didn't play for a while until Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield, but legendaries there's only one of, and they're not like that's not just from a game standpoint. Like, there aren't other members of that Pokemon. So, I don't know, saying that, oh, it's my wife, no gender, I can't have sex with another Reshiram, there's only one. I want to believe that this is, whoever made this is just trolling the person photoshopped into this picture, but I don't know. This one made me laugh. It kind of reminds me, because I've been a comic book nerd most of my life, and a lot of my friends would, like, tease me or be like, Sean, I bet you want to have sex with Wonder Woman. And I'm like, you mean like the character Wonder Woman who's not real, or like a girl dressed as Wonder Woman? Like, the other one, I don't even know how to, like, process that, because it's, not real, which is why I really don't get waifuism, because, I believe their motto is, these women aren't real, but our feelings for them are, like, so it's beyond just, like, liking the aesthetic of the character. It's like, no, I like who they are, they're not real. But it's like, oh no, like, if my fiance wanted to dress up as Wonder Woman, I would be like, oh, fuck yeah, that sounds awesome. But no, like, I don't get waifuism. So the next post we're looking at is actually someone is responding to, they posted a picture of art, and it is the title of this Reddit post is Woman with lewd job can't decide what's wrong or not, angry curse face. The initial post is of a piece of artwork, anime, Demon Slayer, Nezuko art by at Sakimi-chan art.
Y'all e-boys have no chill, she's a minor.
Hence why the artist drew her as an adult.
It's still weird and wrong.
You're a fucking porn star. You don't get to decide what's wrong. Degenerate.
So apparently the woman responding to this post is a porn star named Violet Myers. I was not familiar with her. I looked her up real quick. She's good at what she does. But the thing, like, also hashtag sex work, real work. And she's just like, this is weird. This is, this character's a minor. And someone explains, well, no, they've aged her up. And she's like, well, it's still weird. And, then someone ruins this actual debate that is happening by going, you're a fucking porn star. You're a degenerate. You don't get to judge us. First off, there is nothing degenerate about being a porn star. It's a job just like anything else. And in all honesty, it's a job that can make it really hard in other aspects of your life. Like, I actually did see an interview once with a porn star who, she's like, yeah, like, I will film a video of me sucking off a couple guys, because that's my job, and I get home, and I'm tired, I want to relax, and my boyfriend is just like, hey, why aren't you sucking my dick? And she's like, because I don't want to. Well, you were just sucking a dick all day, why can't you suck mine? And it's like, that's like if you work at Subway, and you spend all day making sandwiches, and you come home, and someone's like, well, you made sandwiches all day, why can't you make me a sandwich? Because I'm not at work, alright? I don't want to bring my work home with me.
Wow, you are smart.
And again, just like any other job that lets you pay the bills, it's a job, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've known several strippers over the course of my life, and I didn't meet them at a strip club. It was just, friend of a friend, and it's like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm a stripper. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool. And they're just normal people. They take their clothes off for money, and it pays their bills. Like, people ask me, do you think stripping's demeaning work? I say, no, I don't. And they're like, well, then why don't you do it? It's like, because nobody wants to see this, okay? No, I would love it if people would be willing to pay me to take my clothes off, and no one wants to see that, guys. I'm not an overly attractive man. If anything, I'm jealous because, I can't make easy money that way. And it's not even easy money necessarily. Like, one of my friends who was a stripper, due to some health issues, she couldn't physically do the work anymore because it is really hard on your body. And there's no euphemism there. Like, you literally getting up there and dancing and doing lap dances is one hell of a workout apparently, but she just didn't have the physical strength for it anymore. So she had to get a job working in a restaurant. So it's like, yeah, no, it's not even easy money, but it is lucrative. I remember one time she needed money for Rock on the Range, which is hella expensive, and she made that in one weekend. But anyway, back to the post. I don't even fully agree with Miss Myers here because, well, I'll be honest, both me and my fiance are fans of Sakimi-chan's art. We actually have quite a few wall scrolls leading up the stairs from from our first floor to our second floor. We call it the Hall of Whores, and a lot of those wall scrolls are of, naughty Sakimi-chan art, and it's like, yeah, no, we get it. And a few of those characters are aged up. Like, they're not in their, normal form you'd see them in the anime or video game they're in. Because it's kind of like, you can look at somebody and be like, oh, when they grow up, they're going to be really attractive, and that's just, a statement, and that's not going I'm lusting over this young person, but you can honestly look at people, young people, and be like, oh, they're probably going to grow up to be very attractive. And Sakimi-chan is just kind of running with that and, making an educated guess as what this character would look like as an adult and, giving them large boobs, they make what sells, hence why I sell not safe for work miniatures on Etsy, but, there's nothing wrong with these images as long as, they aren't of children. And the thing is whatever debate, whatever your side you take on that, whatever you want to go with on that, the argument just becomes name-calling when this rando goes, well, you take dick for a living, so you don't get to decide what's weird and what isn't. And it's like, no, we all, even if you spend your day getting railed and having people run the train on you for money, you still know right and wrong.
When you've been a stripper as long as I have, you know when you've met a bad egg.
I love big anime titties as much as the next guy, but that's just because I love big titties in general. But I used to know this guy. I wouldn't even call him a friend. He was the friend of some friends, and we eventually just kicked this guy out for being a creep and not respecting other people's time. But one day we had gone to his new house that he had just bought, and right in front of my fiance, he looks at me and he goes, so do you know why guys prefer anime girls over real women? And I didn't know this, but, I was like, go ahead, tell me your thought process, making conversation. And he's like, well, so you know how all women are whores. And again, my fiance is right in front of him while he's saying this. And I'm like, no, didn't know that. What are you gotten on about, man? Because it's awkward now. And he goes, so women are whores, and they're just used up vaginas. Meanwhile, these anime girls, they're innocent, they're pure, no man has ever touched them, and they're gonna stay pure. And it's like, dude, they're not real. What are you getting at? Why would you? No, it's so hard for me to wrap. Again, it's back to waifuism, where it's these characters aren't real. Again, my fiance's Hall of Horrors is because we like the aesthetic of Sakimi-chan's art, and just oh, this is a fictional character drawn in a dirty way, and we like it aesthetically. It has nothing to do with wanting to physically fuck this character. I just don't understand these people that look at anyone who has sex in real life as degenerate. It's I understand they're not getting sex and they want to be no, that's because sex is degenerate, but really all they want to do is have sex. So why are you hating, bro? So I think we're gonna do 2 more posts. That's all I got in me for this video. This video is getting kind of long, but the next one we're gonna do is it's from Incel tier, and it's been snipped from incels.is, which is their own forum, and it's the person that reposted. It's hey, he's really describing incels more than he is women. And the original title of the post is, the ironic thing is that if women were male, they would be giga incels.
After all, look at the situation. The vast majority of women have no hobby, skills or talents, are extremely boring, reply with one-word answers, if at all, on dating apps. If a man only replied with one-word answers, he is never getting anything, often have a shitty job, if they even work at all, and no, OnlyFans or taking nude pics on Snapchat isn't work.
So normally I would let the actual list finish before I'd start making my commentary, but already this guy is just I don't even think he understands what women are, okay? Let's look at the first half of the list. Have no hobbies, skills, or talents. That's not really... I wouldn't say that's true of women. I wouldn't say that's true of any gender by itself. I would definitely say these people who spend all their time bitching about how they don't have sex definitely don't have any hobbies, skills, or talents. Until I was 30, I was technically an incel. I couldn't get laid to save my life, but what did I do? I worked on myself. I worked on developing my skills, my talents. I spent a lot of time on my hobbies. And while it wasn't the perfect existence because I was lonely, I had a lot of friends. I enjoyed my hobbies, like, I had plenty to do with my time. So, like, again, like, I would definitely say I didn't have the time to go and bitch and go, woe is me on the internet, I'm not getting laid, because I did have hobbies. It's these incels who, you know, declare themselves to be incels and talk about being incels, where not having sex is your entire personality. That's not a great, that's not an interesting person. It's like, I knew a guy who was not an incel. I'm pretty sure he got laid in the time I knew him. We used to be coworkers, but he thought owning GameStop stock was, like, worthy of being an entire personality, and it kind of just made him insufferable. Again, second piece here, are extremely boring. Like, I wouldn't say the vast majority of men or women are just extremely boring. There are certainly boring individuals out there, but it's like, learn how to connect with people. That's on you. Like, I am not a sports guy. I know very little about sports ball, and I work with people who love sports ball, and, you know, I've found enough ways to, like, ask questions, you know, so that I can be a part of the conversation. It might not be the most interesting thing in the world, but I get through it. And, you know, I know a few key phrases. Yay, local sports team. Boo, crosstown rivals. Wow, what game were the refs watching? Like, that kind of stuff. But, like, honestly, like, learning how to adapt to be part of a conversation, to find your in, to figure out where you can fit into that conversation is something that I don't think these incels typically know how to do. And that's part of the reason they're incels, is they don't know how to interact with people. And, oh, well, these things that this girl likes bore you? Oh, why does it bore you? Oh, because you're not even going to try and find common ground, because all you're thinking about is, wow, I wonder what my cock feels like in her vagina. And that's why you're not getting laid. Then he goes to dating apps. They reply with one-word answers, if at all. And if a man only replied with one-word answers, he is never getting anything. And I think that just is ultimately not understanding how dating apps work, because if they're responding with one-word answers, guy or girl, it's probably because they're not interested, and they just are, they're giving you a chance to, like, you know, find an in. But if clearly the one-word answers are a way of people going, I'm not really interested in what's going on here. I'm not like blocking you yet, but it's like, the people that are responding with one-word answers don't ever get anything because they don't want anything. They're not interested in what you're selling, and that, again, is not gender specific. You should take the one-word answers as your key to either step it up or move on. And here we go. Often have a shitty job if they even work at all. And no, OnlyFans or taking nude pics on Snapchat isn't work. Again, hashtag sex work, real work. And I will say a lot of basement-dwelling incels probably are not gainfully employed, and the thing here is that I know for a fact that OnlyFans is not only real work, but exceptionally lucrative. So I work in the mortgage industry. And while my current position is in sales, before that, I was literally the person for my company whose job it was to take the documents of self-employed potential borrowers and to calculate how much money they're making, how much income we can go by, because they don't get standard pay stubs like, you know, like someone who works at Walmart does, or even someone like me who has a 9-to-5. So we had to look at their paperwork. We had to look at their taxes, because anyone looking to get a loan, we can only give you the money you tell Uncle Sam you make. That's just a bit of free advice there. But one time, and I'd also have to do a little digging to make sure that the records were, one, accurate, legitimate, and kind of like do some digging into the company that they owned or worked for or whatever, being self-employed. And I found a borrower that I was like, oh, I wonder what this, you know, the company that did payroll for them was. And I looked it up. They had an OnlyFans site, and they were raking in $16K a month, which is insane. Like, again, I kind of called my coworkers over and was like, wow, look what this OnlyFans star makes. I'll be honest, we tried to figure out what their OnlyFans was, but that information was not available to us, and they don't go by their name on OnlyFans. And it's just, we kind of wanted to see, like, hey, like, what are you working with that lets you bring in $16K? We're in the wrong business here. Like, but again, you know, if anything, I'm jealous that I can't make $16K a month taking my clothes off and taking pictures of it, and I gotta push the 9-to-5. Like, I am envious. I'm not jealous, because jealousy, you know, in my opinion, jealousy is like, oh, I deserve it more than you. Envious is like, I would love to have what you have, and it's like, yeah, I would love that kind of income. But no, it's OnlyFans is real work. So, you know, this guy didn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Are short, extremely weak, and could easily be beaten up by most men, never work on themselves, or self-improve, as men supposedly need to do, would be considered as a lesser man, i.e. women never work out, even those that do are still skinny as shit. LMAO at these women who are like, I work out 5 times per week, yet still at though a 12-year-old boy could beat the shit out of them, lol. Working out for women means about 3 squats and 400 selfies which she'll post for Chad or to her. OnlyFan.
And the squats are obviously her practicing bouncing on Chad's cock, lose to men in literally everything. In contrast, if a man lust to a woman in something, the woman would view him as a bitch, loser, pathetic, all the while if women are shit at everything, literally no one cares, etc.
So the thing about these incel posts that I think it's almost unilateral that this is one of their themes is that they don't see women as superior to men, they don't see them as equals, they see them as less than men, and that's why they're so confused. Oh, I'm man, why I not get vagina? Well, it's because you have this whole, like, I have to be superior to women at all times in order to get the pussy, and it's like, that's not how it works. Women are short. Okay, again, a lot of incels are like, nobody likes short kings. Well, it's like, you know, I'm about average height. I'm like 5'8". I'm not tall. But I mean, nobody's ever really like looked down on me for being short, but I also don't go around calling myself a king. I'm taller than my mom, but I'm shorter than my dad. My height is just a height. Like, okay, cool. Like, one thing I always thought was kind of funny, cool about being 5'8" is I'm a huge fan of Captain America comics, and while Captain America himself is like 6'2", the Winter Soldier, who then later went on to become Captain America, and I just think he's a super cool character, he's 5'8". So you know what? If it's good enough for the Winter Soldier, it's good enough for me. I get that those are, like, fictional characters, but, you know, if these guys love their fictional waifus or whatever, like, why not? Like, Wolverine is one of the most badass characters in comics, and he's 5'3" and called Runt. You know what? Who the fuck cares? Like, height is just a height. I also am really confused by the comment about how they never work on themselves or self-improve as men supposedly need to do. Like, I think anybody who grows emotionally throughout their life has worked on themselves. And the thing is, I mentioned working on myself during my my single period in my life, and the thing is, though, nobody ever told me I needed to work on myself. Like, that was a personal choice, and that's what it is for many people. I get the sense that this guy has been told by multiple people in his life, you need to work on yourself. Probably by the women he fucking creeps out by talking to them like he's some kind of, you know, alpha male, and they're like, no, you need to go work on yourself, right? It's not me, it's you. And so, you know, if people are telling you need to work on yourself, you've already fucked up. That should be like a personal thing. And the rest of his post is just like talking about how men should be physically superior to women. Like, that's really what it is. Like, oh, women work out, they're weak. It's like, okay, but if you never leave your basement, you're not going to be in the best shape. And talking about, like, women will do 3 squats and 400 selfies. It's like, cool, once again, you're trying to portray all women as this, like, vapid thing that you're not only supposed to be physically superior than, but intellectually superior to. And it's like, and we all know that the squats women do are just practice for bouncing on Chad's cock. And it's like, hey, that's not a guarantee, but if she's working out to better take the dick, more power to her. Like, I'll be honest, me and my fiance have gone at it a couple times, and afterwards we're like, man, we really need to stretch before we do this.
Ow, my back. What? My back.
Is it your back? What? I thought the water might help.
Well, it doesn't help. Get the hell off me!
We've pulled shit before. Like, again, I am constantly reminded that I am not a 20-year-old. Like, you got, like, honestly, whatever you need to do to make sure that you don't hurt yourself during your love life, you know what? Go for it. And again, I would be remiss if I said that, you know, women and men are exactly the same physically. We're not, okay? We have different biology, but that doesn't mean women are weak. There are a multitude of women who could kick my ass just because of their base strength or the fact that they've actually gone through physical training or some kind of combat training. Like, again, you get what you put into it. And incels put nothing into anything, whether it's dick into vagina or effort into life. So you get what you get, bro. Okay, so we got 2 more short posts and then 1 medium post, and then we're done for the day, I promise. Sorry, this one's a longer video. It's just I'm feeling it today, I'm in the zone, let's do this.
Any parent that kicks their kid out for being neat deserves life in prison. If you impose life on another human being, you should take the fall if they decide to opt out of being a wage slave and neat max.
Okay, to anyone who doesn't know, a NEET stands for not in education, employment, or training. Those of you who know the Japanese term hikikomori, it's the same basic thing. It's, you know, it's a basement-dwelling person who just rarely ever goes outside, you know, doesn't have a source of income, lives off of usually their parents, and just not a contributing member of society. Clearly a post from somebody whose mom and dad kicked them out because they weren't doing anything with their life, wouldn't go to school, wouldn't get a job, wouldn't learn a trade, and they're just like, no, I should be able, I didn't ask to be born, you need to support me. And it's like, that's not really how it works. I get it, nobody asked to be born, but at a certain point, once you're alive, you do have to fend for yourself. I think it's funny that it's like, oh, I don't want to be a wage slave. It's like, well, if you get a job you like because you get the training or the education or you just go out and find a way, then you're not a wage slave. If you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life kind of deal. But like these people, it's like being away from their beloved computer and just doing what they want on it, which is like porn, internet, and gaming, is the worst fate possible. I find it funny because, I get restless if I take 2 weeks of paid time off from my job at the same time. Like, I run out of shit to do without some kind of job. And, so maybe it's the online multiplayer gaming. I don't know. I don't do that, so maybe that's why I run out of shit. But it's, when I was in college till the age of 25, it really wasn't going anywhere. And so my dad kind of just sat me down and said, look, man, if you gotta either graduate or you need to move out, work, support yourself, get an apartment. And that's what I did. I still don't have a college degree, but I have a great job because I put in the effort and I can support myself. And I have my fiance and our pet ferret Roro. All proceeds of my mini sales are currently going to the Roro fund. Go ahead and check that out. Links in the description. But again, I went out and I made a life for myself. And that's what this guy clearly didn't want to have to do. And he's like, you should just support me forever because I didn't ask to be born. It's like, who the fuck cares, man? My dad also told me once, he's like, if buck up, world don't care if you're sad. And it's like, yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't. I just also think it's funny that he's like, well, my parents should get a life prison sentence for kicking me out. And it's like, if your parents are in jail for life, who the fuck's gonna support you? Here's the thing. When you go to jail, it's not like you died, even if it's a life sentence. It's not like all of their property would become this guy's property. In fact, they could will it to whoever they wanted to. Even from jail, they could still be like, okay, well, all of our property is being sold or given to insert individual, and I guarantee you it ain't gonna be their ungrateful kid. We got another repost from Incel Tier off of the Incel forums, and it's I love the title. A 45-year-old woman has a sex life? Gasp! I'm just gonna exist and rot because reasons.
It is easy to be a woman. I'm a 22 years old male. I work at a pharmacy. I've been working with a 45 years old woman. Recently I've heard from another coworker that this woman told her that she likes doing anal for her boyfriend. That phrase is still echoing in my mind. How can a 45-year-old woman be more hardcore sexually than a 22-year-old man? I never had a girlfriend. I never kissed a woman who loved me. The only sex I ever had was with hookers. The game is just rigged from the start. Guess I will just exist and rot.
Alright, so just let me go ahead and unclutch my pearls at the realization that this guy apparently has never watched MILF porn.
Ooh, I took some MILF. What the hell is that? M-I-L-F. Mom, I'd like to fuck. Yeah, dude.
Because it's clear from some of those videos that age does equal experience points. First of all, I know you can't believe everything you read on the internet, but even beyond that, I don't know if this guy can even believe what his other coworker told him. I'll be honest, I've worked with many coworkers, and if any single one of them was ever, spilling the sex secrets that another coworker had told them to me, that is a person to stay away from, because that person loves to just stir gossip and rumors, and that might not even be a true statement. But, assuming that this person that he's talking about is a 45-year-old anal-loving woman, let's look at how we can answer why a 45-year-old female would be more sexually hardcore than a 22-year-old guy. So this woman is, twice as old as the poster. Assuming they both went through puberty at around 12, that means she has had 3 times as long to figure out, what floats her boat, what gets her rocks off, and so clearly she knows what she's into and what she's not. And this guy says that the only sex he's had is from hookers. Well, maybe if he would just pay that little extra bit of money, he could do anal too, because I don't know from experience, but I hear the rabbit hole costs extra. And if I could say some words directly to the guy who originally posted this, I mean, give the MILFs a chance, dude. Women don't stay 18 forever. If you like what you see, that means, if you do find somebody, you can grow old together, you're still going to be attracted to that person. Don't get out of your incel, virgin 18-year-old mindset. Okay, and the final post from tonight is going to be from r/Niceguys, and I love this title because it's called "You're Missing Out on 8 Inches."
Hello.
Hi, why the DM?
I did K, well I thought you were cute and I want to find new friends. How old are you?
Thanks, I guess. 19. Why?
Nice age, you look good. Can I see more of you?
No, what the fuck?
Please?
I don't even know who you are.
I am nice guy with good money and nice personality.
Still does not change it. I don't know who the fuck you are.
You don't need to. I am nice 35 years old man. I can pay for pics and whatever you want, okay?
I think I'm good.
Why?
Because I don't want anything to do with you?
Why so rude?
Because you are weird, dude. Fuck off, please.
Wow, so rude. Come on, we can talk.
No.
Please.
No, I said.
Please.
No.
Please, please, please.
Do you not understand the word no?
Why, no, please just one pic.
No, what's wrong with you?
'Cause you are a cutie.
I don't care. Go away.
Fine, just know you are missing out on 8 inches. Thumbs up emoji.
Question marks. I don't even swing that way.
Dear viewers, this might be the thirstiest individual I have ever encountered on the internet. So from what I can gather on this post, this guy saw a girl on Reddit that he did not know, messaged her, and after being like, oh, hey, I'm messaging you because you seem cute and I want to make friends. And she's like, oh, okay, cool, I guess. Asks her age, and then when she tells this guy who is 35 years old that she's 19, he's like, that's a great age. Like, as if he probably thinks he sounds like super smooth, like it's some kind of fine wine or something like that. But really, that's just like the creepiest thing you can say to another person. Like, there's no way to like hear someone's age and then you can't compliment their age. That's just, there's no way that's not creepy. And like, right after saying, I want to make friends, he immediately asks if he can see her naked. And he essentially starts, when she rightfully says no, and he offers her money, and he's like, I have such a great personality, like, not from what we've seen. This guy is begging this girl he has never met for just one nude pic of her. Like, bro, you have the entire internet at your fingertips, and you're gonna harass this girl for a naked pic? Like, I almost guarantee you can find about, like, 50 girls that look pretty similar to her with a cursory internet search. And she just tells him to fuck off, because, like, what else would you do? And he finally tries to, like, do this flex of, like, all right, well, just so you know, you're missing out on 8 inches. And she's just like, oh, I'm a lesbian, so whatever. Like, I'm sorry, like, if you tell a woman that she's missing out on insert size of your penis, if literally all you have to brag about is its size, 1, I'm guessing it's not that size, and 2, I'm gonna guess that you don't know what the hell to do with it. Because if you did, you wouldn't be begging internet girls for free pics of them naked. And guys, that is my video. Thank you for sticking with me for almost 50 minutes while I rant and make fun of weirdos on the internet. Until next time, I'm Mr. Sean. Alpha great day and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye.